Hi, my name is Lexus Looters, and this is my organizational leadership assignment. I did it for USD 443, which is the district that I teach in here in Dodge City, Kansas. This is the flow chart that I created. So I've been super lucky because this summer our district put on a literacy institute for professional development kind of thing. It's actually been through the month of June, so I've had an awesome opportunity to interact with a lot of the leaders up in our district and kind of have conversations with them about this specific flow chart. So I did have conversations with them as I created this. They also provide a little bit of guidance through the flow chart of the district on their website. So I used both of those as resources as well in helping me. Another person that I used is my building principal. She helped me a lot in terms of like where she receives guidance from, and where she gets the information that she passes on to us, and then the people even above that. So to start out, we start up here with our Board of Education. We all know the Board of Education is comprised of people that make the decisions. It's usually people in the community, some people who make up the school, all of that kind of stuff. They're the main people in our district and make the decisions for us. The next person down is our superintendent. We have one superintendent who oversees our whole entire district. And then as you can see from here, we have some arrows pointing down. We then, it then gets broken down into three smaller sectors or sections of our district. So over here, you can see where it says Assistant Superintendent of Elementary Schools. So that's over here. And then in the middle, we have Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum. These are the people that I have had the opportunity to talk to a lot this summer through our Literacy Institute. A lot of the Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum, as well as some people who work underneath him, have been great resources for me this summer, and I've been able to see how their work actually trickles down into us as teachers. The next one is the Assistant Superintendent of Secondary Schools. So we're going to go over here and start talking about Assistant Superintendent of Elementary Schools and the section of elementary schools and kind of how that correlates and ties into the rest of the district. So for elementary schools, down from the assistant superintendent is the school principal. So the school principal, if you'll see, is connected to the assistant superintendent, who does receive their information from the Board of Education and our main superintendent. You'll also see right here, this line is connecting the school principal to the DLT. DLT is our district leadership team, and they make lots of decisions, and they look at lots of data for our district and help drive further instruction and further needs. The school principals do work in the elementary school, do work directly with our DLT. Underneath the school principal, you will see assistant principal. So school principal, assistant principal is under school principal. So that's where they receive a lot of their guidance. Assistant principal, you will see, is connected to BLT, and the assistant principal also works hand in hand with the teachers. So not all of our elementary schools do have assistant principals. If you do see, if there would not be an assistant principal, then they would work directly with the school principal. It kind of just depends on how many sections of a grade level there are. So if you will see, the assistant principal is connected to the BLT. BLT is the building leadership team. I also have the privilege of being a part of that. The BLT makes lots of decisions for the school as a whole. So they actually meet once a month, and they make lots of deciding, or they're kind of the deciding factor on a lot of the things that we do, for whether that be Fun Day, whether that be the data that we're driving for instruction, whether there be a problem up at the higher level of the district, then they bring it down to schools to see and collect data on how they feel. The BLT is kind of the people that you want to talk to. So the building leadership team takes your ideas and transfers it to the DLT, which is our district leadership team. So if the BLT is usually comprised of about one per teacher from each grade level. So then the BLT, like I said, is able to take what you tell them or what you want to change or what you want to know and take it to the higher people, which is the DLT. If you'll see, like I said, the school principals are also connected to the DLT, so the BLT members are able to talk to the principals and everybody that is a part of this DLT committee. Assistant principals also are connected to teachers. And the reason that teachers is connected to BLT is because, like I said, the BLT is comprised of the building principal or principals as well as the teachers, or the one teacher from each grade level, should I say. Then we have our teachers right here. Our teachers are then split into departments. In some buildings, this might be grade levels, and other buildings, this might be content area that they teach. And they're also split into PLCs, professional learning communities or professional learning committees. Everybody calls it something kind of different. PLCs are basically in our school, they are like a grade level meeting. However, if you were split into departments, it'd be a little bit different. It wouldn't be grade level, it'd be more like content area. But PLCs are basically, like I said, a grade level meeting. So, for example, all of us second grade teachers would get together and we actually have a PLC meeting once a week. So, we meet once a week, have lots of those good conversations on things we want to see improve, things we have questions on, things that we're a little bit confused about. And then from there, the BLT member that is a part of that grade level can then come back up here and connect to the BLT, have those conversations with the rest of the teachers that are in the BLT. And if they decide that it is a big enough problem, they will then take it to the DLT, which is the district leadership team. So we can kind of see how on the elementary school level, all these BLT committees or all these individual buildings are able to connect to the higher level, which is the DLT. So we kind of see these three sections working together here. The middle section or the next one is assistant superintendent of curriculum. So this is the group that controls what we teach, how we teach it, district approved resources to teach certain things. And then as you look, you can see these smaller departments within that fall under the assistant superintendent of curriculum. So the first one is HR, or the human resource department. The human resource department works hand in hand with hiring people, taking care of all of their personal information, how they're getting paid, all of that kind of stuff. Then we have our business and finance committee. This is one that I couldn't find a whole lot of information on in terms of specifics that they do. However, I can only imagine that the amount of work that they have in terms of finances within a huge district that is USD 443. We then also have our management information, who controls just the managing of principals, assistant principals, BLTs, teachers. They kind of oversee all of the management strategies and the ways that they are managing different people inside the district. And then we have our safety and security. They're the ones that put on all of our, they kind of are in touch with people for our ALICE training and stuff like that. They're also the people that go around and make sure all the buildings are safe and secure should anything happen, tornadoes, fire drills, intruder drills, all of that kind of stuff. We also saw lots of them during COVID, the safety and security, health and wellness department. They really did step in and take charge in terms of what is safe precautions that we can take, especially for the previous school year that we just finished with COVID. And then you can see how all of these large departments file into the DLT. So this sector of our district does not work one-on-one with kids. Obviously, they're going to be more at like the district building, doing the behind the scenes things, kind of like some of the things that I just talked about. So they all are also connected to the DLT. So you can see how the school principals, the building leadership teams, all of them have a say in the DLT itself, and they're able to be heard and present that information. The third section over here is the assistant superintendent of secondary schools. So this is going to be more like middle school, high school, very similar to the elementary school. We have our school principals. The high school has several principals. I want to say they have 6 or 8, they have one principal. They have several assistant principals. I want to say that they have like 6 or 8 assistant principals that all man different aspects of our large high school. You will see how the assistant principal is also tied into the BLT. You can see how your teachers are also split into departments or PLCs. PLCs at the high school level are probably going to look more aligned to the department or the content area that they teach, but you can also see how all of them are connected to the BLT, so that those ideas can essentially be connected to the DLT, the district leadership team, and be heard from people like the superintendent, the principals, and things like that. So if you look, we do have like 3 different sectors. However, each of these sectors do play their own important role in the district, but they do all connect They do all connect to one piece. The next thing that I want to show you, and it's a little bit fuzzy, but it's the best one that they could get me, is anytime we are in a meeting and we have something that we wonder or we want to know more about, um, what we do is we always go up to these people, or you'll have several people talk and ask questions, and they will say, you need to go through our feedback loop. Okay, so what that looks like is we see right here, improving the building system. So this is the loop on how we can do that. So it says at the building level, you need to first talk to your PLCs, then you need to talk to your, if you see right here, you need to talk to your BLC. Collaboration is happening within all of these areas. Once you talk to your PLC, then you go talk to your BLT. So at your PLC, you'll talk to all your teachers. We know one of those teachers is going to be on the BLT. They will then take your information to the BLT. And if the building leadership team decides that that is something that needs to be further addressed, what they will do is then they will take it to the DLT. And this is the district leadership team. So this question or this information that we need to know more about or that we wonder will be then addressed with the people at the higher level. So we can see how it's kind of a continuous feedback loop. We can see how collaboration does need to happen between the building level and the district level. So we can see why that is very important. Otherwise, nothing will happen. We do also understand why this feedback loop does need to take place. If it doesn't, and we have several ideas being shouted all the time, it's a little bit difficult to ever actually address it. We need to go through the system and go through the loop and take the necessary steps so that the larger problems can be solved. So I just wanted to share a little bit of that. We do see this a lot at our a lot of meetings. As for the structure that I feel like our building is, I want to say that it is a matrix structure. And that is because while the thing that I formed does have 3 separate sectors, we do see how those different divisions or departments do work across one another, and the employees do work together to help make each other's lives easier and to help come and resolve problems. So they are different superiors, divisions, or departments. However, we can kind of see how they matrix the employees across the different areas. So that's kind of what I thought as I researched. And then the last thing is my references. That is all that I have. Thank you guys very much for listening.